Smackdown starts off with Randy Orton. He cuts a promo. He ends up saying that he never needs Pat McAfee, but he wants McAfee by his side because Pat McAfee is the one guy in his ear telling him what he needs to hear, not telling him what he wants to hear, and is being completely honest with him about being himself and listening to the voices. Randy Orton does eventually mention Cody Rhodes. He ends up mentioning that the reason why he attacked Cody, that it was hard for him to turn on Cody, but he ends up saying the reason he attacked him was because Cody gave him permission to turn on him and to become himself, and that he took that as disrespect, as that Cody was giving him permission to betray him when he doesn't need Cody's permission to listen to himself and become his true self. Then he ends up mentioning how selfish Cody is. He ends up mentioning that the amount of times that he constantly helped Cody Rhodes, and all Cody Rhodes is take, and all he did was give. Similar to what Kevin Owens said about Cody Rhodes and how he constantly helped Cody only to feel betrayed and feel like it didn't benefit him. Similar thing. Nothing more to really go with this promo. This was a solid promo. I just wish we would have got this promo without Pat McAfee, but it was a solid, decent overall promo. I'm very confused on why we haven't gotten a one-on-one promo segment between Cody and Randy. That's the only thing that that's one of the main things that's missing from this feud, is that I don't understand why every promo is separate. That is a bit confusing, but nonetheless, this was a solid way to open the show. Nothing spectacular, but it was an overall solid promo, good explanation from Randy Orton. Moving on, we end up getting a street fight, multi-man tag match between the MFTs and the Y6. This is the conclusion of the feud, starting off with them feuding over the dumb lantern. Then the Y6 got it back, and they're still feuding. But this is the end of the feud. The MFTs actually won this feud. Very shocked that they won, because I thought the whole point was for the Y6 to win, but they had the MFTs win. So I was very shocked by that. Towards the end of the match, though, we ended up getting a moment where Tama Tonga was about to get the pinfall. He was finna go for his finisher, but Solo Sikoa ends up swooping in, hitting the Samoan spike, and takes the pinfall instead. Now, apparently Tama Tonga is mad about this, which I understand what they're going for. I get it. You want Tama Tonga to get more and more pissed off at Solo before he could eventually break away from Solo, but I just feel like this is just a lame way to do it, because logically speaking, why would Tama Tonga be mad at Solo? Yes, I get he took the pin from you, but you're in a street fight where it doesn't matter who gets the pinfall in this situation. This is not like, this would be different if this was like a Sol Ruka and Zarya situation where whoever gets the pinfall gets become the number one contender. That's different. This is not that. So I don't understand what Tama Tonga is really mad about. I just feel like this is just more of a reach to get reasons for Tama Tonga to not like Solo, but I just feel like this was a reach. I just feel like this was lame, in my opinion. I didn't watch the match. I didn't, because I just don't care. I'm just glad the feud is over. So no more MFTs and Y6 on our televisions for SmackDown is a good thing. So nonetheless, we'll see eventually where this Tama Tonga storyline goes, even though I don't think it's really going to lead to anything, but we'll see where it goes. Now we end up getting Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. They end up cutting their final promo before WrestleMania. Starts off with Rhea Ripley. She basically ends up saying that Jade Cargill is afraid, that Jade Cargill constantly hides behind Michin and B-Fab, and that she's afraid of her and that she won't have a real one-on-one confrontation with her. Jade responds back, ends up saying that she isn't afraid of Rhea, that she'll stomp Rhea out, and that basically she's everything Rhea Ripley wishes that she was, and that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because at WrestleMania, she's going to stand tall. Rhea Ripley responds back, ends up mentioning that Jade is trying to go after her insecurities, but her insecurities is only what makes her stronger, and that Jade Cargill is just playing a facade, and that she's a fraud, and that she's just hiding behind Meechin and B-Fab, and that she's really not honest with herself, and that she's going to stand tall at Mania. This overall promo wasn't bad. It was actually solid. It was honestly probably the best promo segment they had together. I'm still very upset that we haven't had one brawl, because literally, this is the one feud you needed to have brawls with, but for whatever reason, they keep having them cut promos. I don't understand it, but nonetheless, I'm actually excited for the match. I actually am. I don't think the build has been trashed, but I actually think the match is actually going to be good. I actually think people are going to sleep on this match. I think the match is actually going to be good. I think Rhea Ripley can actually carry Jade to a good match, honestly. So I think the match will be good. The build has been trashed. I'm just hoping that whenever the match over, these two never feud with each other ever again. I don't want them in any backstage segments. I don't want any teases. I don't even want them looking at each other. This should be the only and one time they ever feud with each other in their entire careers. Like, I am being so honest. And I love both these women, but my God, like, don't ever feud with each other ever again. Don't even cross paths. I don't even want them even in tag team matches. Like, don't even have it. No. Just Let this be the end of it. Let it be the only time they ever feud, and let's move on. Please, for the love of God, let's just move on. But nonetheless, I actually liked the segment. It was a fine segment for what it was, but let's just move on from this as soon as possible. We end up getting a number one contendership match for the United States Championship between Tiffany Stratton and Jordan Grace. This was actually a fine match. Really enjoyed this match. Tiffany Stratton does pick up the victory. I don't know why people are shocked that Jordan Grace lost this match because Tiffany Stratton was already set to have a U.S. Championship match against Tiffany at Mania. So why did people think that WWE was going to change their mind just because they did a number one contendership match? The plan was always Tiffany versus Julia. So why did they think? I don't understand why people thought that Jordan Grace was going to win this match. I don't understand it. But it was a good match. I think the right winner won. I think Tiffany should be the one advancing. I know people are going to have this fake outrage of Jordan Grace, but this is only temporary. No one's going to care about Jordan Grace losing in the next week. That is a fact. It's just fake outrage. But nonetheless, and I like Jordan Grace. I do. But nonetheless, hopefully Tiffany Stratton beats Julia for the U.S. title. Now, I don't know if anything's going to change because based off SmackDown history of booking women, they don't care about their women on SmackDown. So it doesn't really matter who wins because I don't know why people even care because whoever wins the U.S. title isn't going to do much anyway because every woman is in the tag team division. So it doesn't really matter anyway because they have no opponents. So we'll see how this plays out. I wish the women would get booked better, but clearly WWE doesn't care. But I'm glad Tiffany Stratton got the victory. Now moving on to Trick Williams. Trick Williams was cutting a promo. He basically is talking trash about Sami Zayn. He's basically, mocking Sami Zayn. He ends up mentioning the attack on Lil Yachty from last week. Then he ends up calling out Sami Zayn, and then a gingerbread man, a guy in a gingerbread costume comes out mocking Sami Zayn because he constantly calls Sami Zayn gingerbread man. He talks to the mascot, basically mocking, talking trash about Sami. Sami does eventually comes out. Sami then mentions Mello, mentions that he doesn't understand why fans hate him, but that doesn't matter because he's just going to do what he has to do for the ride or die Sami Zayn fans. Then he ends up saying that Trick Williams isn't ready for the moment, that Trick Williams is too distracted, that he's goofing off, and that he's not prepared to face him in the ring, and that from what he has seen from Trick, that Trick isn't ready, and that he doesn't get the hype with Trick Williams, that he just thinks Trick Williams is a phony, and that he's going to fail at WrestleMania. Trick then responds, ends up mentioning that Sami is wrong, and that he's constantly in Sami Zayn's head, and that Sami is the one that's distracted, that he's basically letting the fans and the crowd get to him. Sami then responds back, ends up saying that that ain't the case, and that Trick is delusional. Trick then ends up making a gingerbread joke due to, the gingerbread mascot behind him and then calling Sami gingerbread man. Sami then attacks Trick Williams. They brawl. Trick was getting the upper hand, but then eventually Sami does end up taking Trick out. Then he ends up attacking the gingerbread man, which I thought was hilarious. I actually liked that. Trick does end up recovering, hits him with his finisher. Oh my God, the trick shot. I almost forgot his finisher. He ends up hitting him with the trick shot and then stands tall with the U.S. title. So that is a red flag for Trick Williams fans because everyone wants Trick to win. But based off the booking decision, it looks like Sami's going to win. And I've been saying that Sami winning is not a bad choice depending on how they book him. If they turn him heel and have him basically ride the momentum of this Mello stuff and constantly bash Mello and Trick while being U.S. champion, it can work. But if you're finna continue to have him play like this babyface role, but he's getting booed, that's the wrong choice. So it's going to be very interesting, but it looks like Trick is losing at Mania based off booking, but this could be a trick. This could be a swerve where they want us to think Trick is losing only for him to win. So we'll see how this plays out. But nonetheless, I enjoyed this segment. This was the best thing on the show, in my opinion. I've been enjoying the Sami and Trick stuff, but I know most people are complaining due to Mello, which I understand. I just don't think Sami deserves the hate because that's booking, not Sami. Sami is not the reason Mello is not U.S. champion. That is booking, but it is what it is. But overall, I enjoyed this segment. We end up getting the Andre Battle Royal. They do this every year near WrestleMania. Royce Keys do end up picking up the victory. I'm not going to go over this match because I did not watch it, but it is nice to see Royce Keys pick up the victory. And this is a good sign for Royce Keys because based off the past two Andre Battle Royal winners, WWE typically pushes those guys. Bronson Reed won it in 2024, and look where he is. Well, now it's not the good time because he got injured. That's one. And two, Division also got injured, so that kind of ruined his momentum. But before then, he was getting pushed. He got that Braun Strowman feud. He got the Seth Rollins feud. Then he joined Seth Rollins' faction. Like, that was clearly going to lead to something. So they was clearly pushing Bronson Reed. Then you end up getting Carmelo Hayes. Now, it took a while for Carmelo Hayes to get pushed the way he is now, but still, they pushed him. So WWE clearly has been using this Andre Battle Royale to push stars. So this is actually a good sign for Royce Keys because Bronson Reed in 2024, he got pushed after winning that in Mello. So this is a good sign for Royce Keys. Even though he should have been made his debut, but he's winning matches. That's good. We'll see what the future holds for him. I hope he gets booked well. So this is a good sign so far with Royce Keys winning the Andre Battle Royale. We finally get the main event. We end up getting Cody Rhodes and CM Punk cutting a promo, which made no sense. I don't understand why we got this, honestly. It's just basically two guys basically cheering each other up, giving each other respect for their upcoming WrestleMania match. That's really it. I don't understand why we got this. This didn't further anything. This didn't make me more hyped. This honestly made me want both niggas to lose at WrestleMania, if I'm being honest. It was just, I just didn't understand what was the point of this. It was just like, it was basically two niggas basically dick riding each other. That was basically what it was. Like, I guess, like, it was fine for what it was. Now, a lot of people are saying that this gave them confirmation that they're both losing. I don't think this is confirmation that they're both losing, but it could be. Who knows? I still think Cody's retaining, but I think Punk is losing. But I could see it going either way, but I just feel like this segment was unnecessary. It didn't really further any storyline between either guy, so I don't understand. Again, I don't get it. Same thing. Why is Cody and Randy not getting promos? I don't understand. Why? Well, how come Punk and Roman are able to do face to face, but Cody and Randy can't? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. It is what it is. This segment was very unnecessary, very pointless, to be honest with you. It was a fine segment, but again, it just doesn't fit. This doesn't feel like WrestleMania because it just doesn't fit for WrestleMania. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you put this on your go home show? Because again, neither of these guys should be talking to each other like that. Like it just doesn't fit. Like I get they was cheering, they was giving each other motivation for their match, but again, it's just unnecessary. It just I just don't understand it, but it is what it is. You guys let me know your overall thoughts of tonight's show. This show sucked, by the way, but it's SmackDown. It typically sucks, but you guys let me know your overall thoughts, opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. But yeah, that's it.